Hello and welcome to this Profit Protector Pro video. Now I'm going to go over very briefly the strategies in Profit Protector Pro, but the main point of this video is that I thought it'd be a good idea to let you know what strategy you may want to consider using in a certain scenario. Now I won't dive too deeply into the strategies themselves, as there are other videos on these, and I'm sure if you have Profit Protector Pro you'll have had a read of this page as it is anyway. But I thought it'd be really helpful to present certain scenarios and then what strategy you may want to go ahead with if that certain scenario ever occurred. And this isn't me telling you that this strategy is one that you are definitely going to need to use in this scenario by any means, as you will know your listings a lot better than I do. You'll know the competition on your products a lot better than I will. But hopefully if you did ever get stuck with deciding what type of strategy to use, hopefully this advice helps set you on the right direction and clears any confusion. So within Profit Protector Pro, as you know, there are different types of strategies. So you've got your algorithmic ones, which are clever and have AI learning, so they learn on the job and they constantly watch what is going on with the listing and obviously learn from that listing and adjust accordingly to perform their function. You've also got the rule-based strategies, which do exactly as they suggest in the title, very simple, very straightforward, and very to the point. You've also got the used goods and books algorithmic strategy if you are selling any used goods or books. And then you have the merchant fulfilled strategies, which you'd probably want to use on any merchant fulfilled products, especially if your competition is mostly merchant fulfilled as well. Just use these if you have any FBM products. So within these types of strategies, you've got sort of like sub genres, if you will, or sort of like subsections. So within the algorithmic strategies, you've got these aggressive ones that are really sales focused and very, very competitive. You've got more profit focused ones that are a bit more passive, and then you've got strategies that sit somewhere in the middle, and it kind of works the same way with the merchant fulfilled strategies as well. And again, it is completely up to you which one of these that you do choose, but what is really useful with this page is not only do you have the description of how exactly it works, and it also gives you examples as well. You've got these explainer dots here which really put it nice and simply how that strategy is going to work. So any strategy you pick, by the way, will do its best to boost your sales and also boost profit, but obviously some of them are more focused on one area than another. So like these aggressive strategies, they're more focused on acquiring the sale, whereas the profit focused strategies are exactly that, they're more profit focused. But when would you actually apply these types of strategies? So the algorithmic ones are quite a good choice a lot of the time because, as I say, they've got AI learning. They will look at the listing, they'll sort of like learn as they go and adjust what they do accordingly. So you may want to use an aggressive strategy on a busy listing, an item that has a good BSR. It's quite popular. There's lots of other sellers on the listing, and it is an item that does sell consistently well. That tells you it is going to be quite a competitive product. Something like this, for example, we can see here, this is BuyBot Pro, by the way. So this is a dealer analysis tool where within one click, it looks at thousands of different data points to bring you a whole host of essential information about the item and how it's performing on Amazon. So you've got this one here. So this is the competition analysis. So this basically gives me the top 10 sellers on the item, their stock levels and their prices. But then below this as well, you've got the total amount of sellers that are on this listing. So you've got 32 merchant fulfilled sellers and 8 prime sellers, which totals at 40 sellers on the listing. And as you can see, these prices are quite close together. You've got a number of merchant fulfilled sellers here. You've got a couple of FBA sellers, and you've got Amazon themselves. And when you do have Amazon themselves on the listing, this is a sign that you may want to set a more competitive strategy anyway in order to compete with Amazon, as they will be one of the main competitors on a listing. So that is when you may want to use something like that. You want it to be sales focused, you want it to be competitive. If you do lose the buy box, Profit Protector Pro will lower the price just a little bit to try and scoop the buy box back up. And then once it's got a hold of it, it will try its very best to maintain hold of it, and it'll bump it up where it can, just to try and find that sweet spot where it can stay, where it does maintain hold over the buy box and gets you what profit it can. So that's just an example of where you may want to use a more aggressive strategy. Now you've got something like this, which is a little bit of the opposite. So you've not even got 10 here, you've got 8 sellers in total, and 7 out of the 8 are merchant fulfilled. So if you are an FBA seller, you could probably go for a balance strategy, or if you're happy to wait to get the buy box potentially, you could go for a more passive strategy, one that's more profit focused, as once it does get the buy box, it will try to achieve your maximum price. So on this one, you've got a quieter competition, and if you are FBA as well, that does give you a advantage over merchant fulfilled sellers. So you might find something like that quite useful, or you could use a balance strategy, as I say. If you are a merchant fulfilled seller, because there are quite a few merchant fulfilled sellers on the listing, you may want to use a merchant fulfilled aggressive strategy. You might want to use a balanced one. So something like that if you are a merchant fulfilled seller. A balanced strategy, just in general, is a good place to start if you aren't sure. So the balanced sales accumulator, the cautious sales enhancer, they sit nicely in the middle. So if you aren't sure where to start, you can set a balance strategy, or you may want to just set a balance strategy anyway, because it may be one that works particularly well for you. But this is a nice middle ground which will help you judge if potentially you can be a bit more passive, so then you can change it to a more profit focused strategy. Or if you do need to be a bit more competitive, then you can switch it up to a more aggressive strategy. But a balanced one is a nice middle ground and a nice place to start. Or again, you may want to keep it as a balanced one because they do work very well. The rule-based ones you'd want to apply if you wanted to do a specific thing with your repricing in Profit Protector Pro. So if you literally did just want to go a penny under the buy box, then you'd select that one. If you wanted to match the buy box in order to sort of like maintain an exact pursuit over it, then you can select that one. It's completely up to you. They are fairly straightforward and simple. And then also don't forget, if there was anything on here where you had a specific situation come up and a specific way that you wanted Profit Protector Pro to reprice, maybe one of these strategies come close, but it doesn't quite cut it. In that case, you have the custom strategies page here where you can create your very own custom strategy from scratch and get it to do exactly what you want it to do. So hopefully that advice has helped you. So just as a quick summary, on a competitive busy listing on a popular item, you might want to go a bit more aggressive. On a quieter listing where you're happy to wait to make the sell, you may want a more profit focused strategy. And then if you want something that's in the middle or you're not sure where to start, go for a balanced strategy, and then you can work out from there if you do need to change it at all. Hopefully that helps you if you do come across any of those kinds of scenarios. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Take care for now, and I'll see you next time.